Good evening. Welcome to another session of our weekly market analysis. This analysis is for week 6. We're going to be looking at what happened in week 5 and what I feel is going to happen in the new trading week 6. So far, 5 weeks are behind us, and we want to see what may likely happen in week 6. This is your dollar index weekly time frame. We can see what happened last week, week 5. My anticipation going into week 5, I told us that there was a bearish order block on daily and 4 hours time frame, I suppose. And I told us that if that order block acts as resistance, we're going to see price go down. We're still within this area inside this FVG. It traded through that order block, but rejected immediately and came lower. In fact, that happened on Monday. And then we saw a rejection and price traded within the range of this high to this low. That's where we are in. And the body is respecting the body of previous week's candle as well. You can see it. Now, what does that mean? This movement up traded to the rejection block, cleared the rejection block, failed to go higher than the previous high. And this unfulfilled range is still left unfulfilled, still there. The remaining portion here is still unfulfilled, and we are stuck in the range. Of course, this is the last week of the month of January, or the first week. I think that's the first week of February. So we have this Judah swing kind of thing, non-farm payroll and or whatnot. And this is where we are now. Before I talk about what is going to happen in week 6, what I feel may happen in week 6, let's look at how we traded throughout the week. So we had Monday. It opened and traded up sharply, clearing out the buy side, resting here, trading into the rejection block on weekly time frame, clearing that out, able to take out the high. And then we can see the rejection. It quickly reversed, rejected lower, traded below the bearish order block that I talked about. I said if price closes above this, then we are going to resume bullishly. But it traded through it and then rejected. The body is closed below it. So that gave room for this bearish movement. And we are somehow stuck in the range. This high to this low, we are stuck in that range. Now look closely. This was Monday, Tuesday. This is Wednesday. Thursday, between Tuesday, Monday, and Wednesday, we had a fair value gap on Tuesday. Thursday poked above it, taking out Wednesday's high. And then Friday took out Thursday's high, traded into the CB, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So we traded into it. Let's see. So we can see almost filled it completely. We could say it filled it. And then this is where we are at the moment. So what do I think is going to happen? This is an FVG CB, but has traded into it. And this could consolidate here to go lower or trade higher to continue going higher. Now, looking at what we have, looking at the structure here, I was of the opinion that we will see price erode down, that this particular bearish order block is going to hold price and we're going to erode down, fill in, trade through this BC, close below it, and then trade lower. I still have that anticipation, okay? Why? Look at monthly time frame. The month of January was indecisive month. You can see the candle, nobody, they had weak, and then you just traded as though where it opened was exactly where it closed. We just see what it did. This is month of February. So I want to believe that if you come look closely here, I've already marked out this FVG. This is where I'm expecting price to trade to. And there's also breaker. You have a low, a high, a lower low that was broken to the upside. This breaker is in the same area where you have the FVG. It's on this node that I feel that dollar might want to retrace a little. And that is also going to give me some form of indication that, okay, the first quarter of the year, we traded bearishly, and then from March into April, we'll have some form of reversal to start going higher. That's what I'm looking at. That's the kind of framework I'm looking at. So I want to see it if it has willingness to trade to the monthly FVG here. Okay, that would mean that on this weekly time frame, the price is going to break below this FVG here and then disrespect this bullish order block and then go lower. So if we have a movement down closing below this FVG, then that would be an indication that yes, prices want to go lower into the monthly FVG. But if we stay within this, above this FVG, then that would mean that we're going to resume our bullish movements. On the daily time frame, this high here, not this particular one, this is non-farm, okay, this is that Monday, this is non-farm payroll. This particular high here on Wednesday should not be violated. If we want to stay bearish, if we want to go lower, then Wednesday high should not be violated. We should stay below Wednesday's high, okay? Because that will also mean that we are inside this bearish order block, okay? So I want to see price stay below this high. If that happens and then we start going down, trade below this FVG here on both daily and weekly time frame, then that will be a delta sign that we're going to go lower into the monthly FVG, the monthly BC. That's my prognostication for the dollar index. As it is right now, it could go either ways. It could go up, it could also go down, okay? But what will make me trust one side is if we respect this bearish, this BC here, where we have the consolidation, where this area I marked out, if we stay above it and starts pressing higher, then we're going to run the buy side liquidity. But as long as we stay above, we stay below this high, we don't trade above this high, and then we start making movement lower, at least close below this BC, then that would be an inversion FVG to send price lower into this. So I want to see how we open Sunday night breaking Monday, how we open, and then how we trade Monday, Tuesday. That will give me an indication that price is going to be either bullish or bearish for the rest of the week. Last week, when I saw this on Monday, I knew very well, right at that time, that we're going to go lower to test the FVG and see if we have willingness to trade through. We couldn't trade through it. We went into it on Wednesday, and then we failed to go lower. It just poked into close to the 50%. I think it's almost the 50%. Let's see. Yes, traded through the 50% and then rejected again. And we are above the FVG. So could this be a movement higher? This FVG here is going to give us an indication if we're going to go higher. Now, if it closes above this FVG, then this high is going to be suspect. It's going to be the next point of call. But if we stay below this FVG here, let me mark it out again so we can just see it. This FVG right here. Yeah, this one here. So if we stay above, if we trade above this FVG, then we're going to run this high and make an attempt to run this high and then fill in this unfulfilled range. That is it. But as long as this FVG here acts as resistance, then we're going to go lower. So if it consolidates here Monday, Tuesday, and starts giving us signature to go lower, then we'll go lower. And this FVG here on the weekly and daily time frame will not hold price, and then we'll just go lower. But if we break above this average and closes above it, then I think we're going to start resuming bullishly. That is still why, let me still emphasize why I like to be a day trader. This is one of the reasons why I like to be a day trader. So that's what we have for the dollar index. Let me take it off again. Right? I think I should put it so that it will be a reference point for us in our next analysis. So this is the determining factor, if you will, for either a bullish or bearish movement. So if it closes above this, then we'll resume bullish. But if we stay below this and start going lower, going to close below here, I know we're going to go into that monthly average. Will it do it this week? That's what I don't know, but we'll follow price every single day. So that is it. So weekly time frame, we could go lower, take out this low, or could just stay within this range, high and low. Gun to my head, I feel we want to start going lower. That's what I feel, want to go lower. But that would all determine what is going to happen Monday, Tuesday. So that being said, let's go to our fiber, Euro USD. So looking at Euro USD weekly time frame, our dollar was bearish, so this was bullish. We can see it gapped down, opened here, traded lower and rallied up, then closed here. This is where we are at the moment. This is where we are at the moment. We have unfulfilled range below. We have pretty walked inside this bearish order block multiple times. Okay, so could this be that it wants to resume bearishly? That will be determined by what dollar index is going to do. We also have this area here, that could be an area to look out for if dollar resumes its bearish movement. This will go up, and then we'll have this range to contend with this CB here. Okay, that's the area I'm looking at. And then we have another bearish order block here on weekly time frame that could act as resistance with once price trades to this level. But right now, I'm still bearish on this. I want to see movement to the downside because I feel this is just a little, it just poked in, taking out this low just by just some pips. It's not really much. So that's why I feel that we're going to go lower into this average, at least test this area 25% and then 50% respectively before any bullish movement higher. Okay, so we're still stuck in the range, nothing significant at the moment. On daily time frame, this was where we gapped down on Monday, and then we traded to cover 80% of that range Monday. Then Tuesday, we traded lower and resumed bullishly, feeding completely, traded into this FVG completely. And then Wednesday, we traded to, if you go to, I think 4 hours, there's some kind of, yes, the inversion FVG here. We traded to it one more time, and then we rejected lower breaking structure here. And then this also happened non-farm payroll. I traded to bearish order block and then send price lower. We're inside the bullish order block right now, mean threshold, and that's where we are. So any continuation to the downside will mean that dollar is going to resume bullish movement. So this is where we are. So daily time frame, we had the Monday taking out the rejection block, just almost immediately, just gapped down, took out the rejection block, and then we started going higher. So we're just stuck in the range low to the high. That's where we are. 50% midpoint, that's where we are. So could it go lower or could it go higher? We don't know. At this point, it will go either ways. That's why I'm sitting on my hands to just wait to see what price is going to do Monday, Tuesday, before I'll be able to know if it's going to be one directional movement to the upside or to the downside, or we'll have a choppy week where price just goes up and down. All right, so that is about that 4 hours time frame. So this gap here, this liquidity void here, it just gapped down here, opened on Sunday, second, and then we consolidated here, rallied up, tried to fill in the range, came back one more time, sent it higher to the inversion FVG here, and then we've been bearish ever since. So this was Wednesday, and we started going down to this level. So could it be a movement to the upside, or to just break lower? Let's see how it goes. So anywhere, if it opens, if it gaps down on Monday, it means that we want to resume our bearish movement. 1 hour time frame, is anything significant there? Just taking out this internal range liquidity here, for instance, the bearish bullish order block. So if it breaks below this bullish order block, I think that will be movement to the downside. Buy side liquidity was swept during non-farm payroll on Friday. These equal highs here. We swept them during non-farm payroll, even into here. That is small FVG and other block. Price respected the other block, and then we resumed bearishly. So if it breaks below this bullish order block, then we will be heavily bearish into the monthly and weekly FVG right here. So that's for fiber. Let's go to cable, GBP USD. Overall, it was bullish last week because dollar was overall bearish. What happened? We took out liquidity here, previous week's high, we took it out, and then we rejected sharply into the FVG here, and then totally filled in the FVG. You can see it was totally, completely filled in, and this is where we are. So this was also a gap down, closed there, and then opened there last week, Monday. Then we tried to trade higher, taking out buy side liquidity, SMT divergence between cable and fiber. You see that fiber failed to take out previous week's high, while cable took out previous week's high. So that was a sign that this was just run on liquidity, on stops to go lower. So we are still inside the range. So if it gaps down on Monday, and then that could be a rally up a little and then to sell lower into these are equal lows. I want to see price sweep it. I'm still very much bearish. I'm still very much bearish. But if we break above last week's high, I think that would be a sign that I want to really bullishly take out this other swing high here, short-term high here. Okay? So last week's high is going to be a determining factor if this thing is going to be either bullish or bearish. This high here. So it breaks above this high, then this is where we're going to target it. Okay? If it breaks above this high, we'll be targeting this. But if it continues going lower and then trades below this inversion FVG here, then we'll start going lower. 4 hours time frame. This was the gap. It closed on Friday, 31st January, and then it opened here Sunday night, 2nd February. Went a little lower, then rallied higher, came back into FVG one more time, took it higher, took out buy side liquidity on Wednesday, and then we've been bearish ever since. Broke structure here, traded into FVG on Friday, and this is where we are. Traded below the breakout block as well. So I think we're going to resume bearish, want to go lower. This is what I'm expecting. That would mean that dollar will keep going higher. So it means if it takes out this high, then of course we're going to resume higher, and my low hanging fruit will be this internal range liquidity here. Okay, let us still take out this high because this 4 hours time frame. So if it breaks above this, then this will not be anything of significance, but it's going to go higher to attempt to go above this or trade to this rejection block right here, and then that will be a movement up to fill in that range completely. So let's see what happens from Monday. How we open, how we trade. Opening price will determine everything that we're going to do for the rest of the week. Okay, so that's for cable. Aussie has taken out the sell side liquidity here. We can see it gapped down, took out the sell side liquidity that I annotated. I showed us this sell side liquidity low here, and previous low. I told us that I want to see price straight through it. I think that should be on that daily time frame, I suppose. Let me take it back to daily time frame and then scroll back and see that area. That should be either FPG or something. Yes, other block here. So traded to the other block that smashed it. And this is where we are at the moment. That was the rejection block on monthly time frame. So that's traded through the rejection block. I'm sorry, sharp rejection. Our next point of call would be this CB here on monthly time frame. So we could see some more bullish movements for Aussie into this range, this CB here, the FBG here. So that's our next point of call before it goes much more lower, okay? That's around, let me mark it out so we can see clearly, weekly time frame. This area here. So let's go to weekly time frame and see where that level is. Okay, this area. For weekly time frame, there's no inefficiency, but monthly time frame has that inefficiency. I think, let me see, am I correct? Yeah. Here, good. Okay, yeah, that's that. So weekly time frame has no imbalance, but monthly time frame has it, and monthly time frame supersedes weekly time frame. So that could be a catalyst to send price, taking out this high to trade into this level. And then once it gets there, we'll see if this bearish order block will act as support to resistance rather to send price lower. Okay, so our objective has been fulfilled. It has taken out the rejection block that I outlined. So the next point of call will be here, is where I'm looking at. That will be the next point of call inside here. Okay, daily time frame. We had that Monday gap traded down on Monday, swept the sell-side liquidity, and then Tuesday we rallied up, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday we consolidated because there's a bearish order block here on daily time frame. So any leg above that, we're going to enter into the monthly CB. That's where I think price is going to get to before we start going down. Okay, so that's for Aussie. That's for Aussie. So this was where it was on 31st. Closed here and then opened here, gapped down, traded down, and then we started rallying up. This is where we are. As broken structure, we could, if here offers some form of support, that could send price higher into this. So I'll be looking at Aussie. If we trade to this area here, where my cursor is, this BC here, inside this other block, this BC could act as support to send price higher. If it does that during London session Q zone, Monday, Tuesday, especially Tuesday, we have that trade into this London session Q zone. That could be a buy into the monthly objective, taking out this high, trading to the monthly CB. That's the framework for this. So if we don't want to go bearish in short term, this place should offer some form of support. If it breaks below this area, then we'll resume bearish movement short-term basis to take out this low again. So that's it for Aussie. The next is Kiwi, NZD USD. Weekly time frame, same thing. Reaction block has been swept here. Again, took out previous week's low and then rejected sharply. So I think we'll run this high into filling this FVG properly and then see if we could trade to this bearish order block. I think there's also a, yes, we have a CB here. We have a CB here, this area here. Sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. We have a CB here, right here. Good. So that will be our target for the week. I want to see price trade into it, take out the side trade into that level. That is it there. So on monthly time frame, this is where we're looking at. We trace to it, this bearish order block should be able to offer some form of resistance to send price lower or consolidate around that zone. Okay, daily time frame, we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday bullish, Thursday, Friday consolidation. I think it's going to pop up higher, same price into that monthly CB. This area also is another area we look at for Kiwi. The price trades here, we'll see some form of divergence, SMT divergence between Aussie and Kiwi. You know, on Tuesday, that could be a very good sign. Monday, Tuesday, that could be a very good sign for a buy into the monthly CB. Okay, but if it starts trading up without giving me this entry, I may not take this buy. Okay, I want to see trade to this area, either 50% or touch the opening price of the bearish order, bullish order block. And then if we have some form of SMT divergence between Aussie and Kiwi, that would be a good buy for this. Take a buy into the monthly CB. All right, next is Luni, USD CAD. So finally, USD CAD has swept the equal highs we're talking about. Equal highs. Can you see this high here and this high here? Double top. It has been swept finally. So it did that last week. I think that should be on Monday. Yes, on Monday, spiked higher, took out the liquidity there, and then we traded lower. How many pips did it do that? Sorry. Let's see. I want to see how many pips it used. This trading view here, it's used about 109 pips. That was really, so all the stop losses there resting above here, they actually suffered immensely. So we had a bearish week, sweeping liquidity. We have FBG here, order block here. So to the downside, this is what we have. This is what we have. Price trading to the downside. We have this FBG on weekly time frame. We have order block on. But this is not the end. It could want to test this high again. If dollar is extremely bullish, it want to test this high again. So on daily time frame, we have FVG here, order block here. So essentially, it could trade to this. The high of this candle is at 1.4193. So about 1.4200. I think that could be a good point for price to trade to for this week. So 1.4200, that's what I'm looking at, or 1.4195. That's where I'm looking at price straight to. Let me put the horizontal line around 1 point. Let me calibrate this thing. I think that's it's better I calibrate it. So 1.4195. Good. This area here, or another could be 1.4200. Okay, so essentially that area, because that's what I'm looking at. To trade to it before any significant movement to the upside. All right, that's where I'm. So we are bearish on USD CAD for this week. Bearish on USD CAD for this week. It could turn, let's say, 4 hours. I think it shouldn't take out this high. Perhaps if we weak into this second layer of FVG here, this CB here, we can reject and then go lower. If it does that, then we're going to be targeting the 1.495 level, 1.495 level, 200 big figure level. So that's where I'm looking at price trade to. Okay. For our yen was bearish. We still have this high that I want to see it violate. Okay, it has traded into the FVG. It shouldn't take out this low. It should consolidate here and then send price higher. Okay, that's what I'm looking at for the yen. We had Monday here. It was Monday. Tuesday, it was just bearish all through the week. It was bearish all through the week. We've traded essentially into the discount level. So we should start seeing higher prices on this pair. Otherwise, if it takes out this low, then this is where we are coming to. If it keeps going bearishly and it takes out this low, then this is where we are getting to. Okay, this is where we are getting to. And that would be that dollar has to be extremely bearish for this to do that. Okay. The next is Swiss USD CHF. This is too clean. This is too clean. They are heavily manipulating this pair to have another shoot higher. They're heavily manipulating this, heavily manipulating it. And I think that the next movement is going to pierce above this and head trade into this level. This is heavily manipulated. Daily time frame, we had Monday, that spike up, rejection block, swept it. Tuesday, Wednesday was bearish. Thursday, Friday will resume bullishly, feeding this FVG completely, and there's no sign of rejection. So I think we want to start moving higher. A bullish order block traded to here, block structure here, came back one more time, and this is where we are. So I think it wants to start resuming its bullish movement. Equal highs here, and then that other one on weekly time frame, this is this line here. That's where I'm expecting this to go to. Okay, that's for our Swiss. Let's look at 4 hours time frame. Anything good? This bearish order block should not hold price. If it consolidates around this bearish order block and fails to break above it, then we could just, consolidate around this range high to this low, and then until dollar gives us any significant movement higher, then this will now resume its bullish movement. But if this bearish order block fails to resist price, then that would be a catalyst to send price higher. Balance price range here. So for me, I think price wants to go higher. But let's see what happens over the week. All right. The next is our indices. So for our indices, it's been consolidating here. I told us that I want to see a movement higher. Yes, it closed bullishly, but didn't really take out previous week's high. So I think that this was Monday, that gap down, the opening range gap, new day opening range, I think, or new week opening range. We traded down, then opening gap rather. New week opening gap, traded down, gapped down, and then we started feeling it gradually. We go to 1 hour time, that's it, close the air, and then we open the air, see that gap, filled it on Monday, and gradually started going higher. So I'm of the opinion that it will create another high again, because I don't think that this is the top yet. I don't think so. It could create another high. It will, not could, it will create another high. It could create another high. So I'm still bullish for indices. SP 500, Nasdaq 100, Dow Jones Industrial Average 30. I'm still bullish. Same thing for Nasdaq and Dow. You see how it's just giving the impression that this is a strong resistance zone, and then pop up higher, clear it out, go further high before any form of reversal. So that's for the indices. For gold, I told us that I want to see gold press higher, and we got that very, very well. What's the high of gold? 2,886. Good. So I think we'll hit 2,890 or yes. And then let's see, do we have, let me see, 2,900. That's our next point of call. 2,900. Yeah, that's our next point of call. I want to see 2,900 traded to this new week. That's what I want to see. So last week's high will be broken. And I want to see 2,900 traded to. That's our next objective for gold. That's our next objective for gold. So I can take off this line. No more useful. So our next point of call is 2,900. 2,900. Okay, if it breaks below this low, then I think we'll resume bearishly. We have equal lows here, and then we have several sell-side liquidity. But that would be on the premise that this low is violated and dollar is strongly bullish. Okay, as long as dollar is trading within that range, it will give this ample time to rally higher, to that 2,900 price level. That's it for gold. The next is BTC. So Bitcoin is having difficulty to get to the, I think that's 110,000. Okay, this high was 109. I want to see hit 110, okay? It will do that. It's consolidating here for another leg higher. So Bitcoin lovers and crypto traders, don't worry, what do you call it? The bull run is still very much in play. I think it's gonna take it higher. Okay, so that is about that. So on dollar index, if we consolidate here again, let's go to weekly time frame rather. If we consolidate here, that will give room for gold to spike higher. But if it starts going higher, then gold is going to consolidate around that top there. And I told us that 4 hours time frame, it should stay, it shouldn't close 4 hours. Let me look at daily. Yes, this high here shouldn't close above this high. Ultimately, this FVG here, it should not trade above. If it closes above it, then I think we'll resume bullishly. But if it stays below the FVG, and if it doesn't trade above it or close above it, then we're going to either consolidate here or send price lower. That's for dollar index. And whatever happens to dollar index, you just reverse it. That's exactly what's going to happen on fiber and cable. Though I'm seeing signs of fiber and cable trading lower on the premise that this bullish order block is going to give way. If it acts as support, then we're going to resume bullishly on fiber. Same thing. No, not same thing. This, because already it has broken below the bearish order block mean threshold, the bullish order block rather, the mean threshold has been violated. So we had FVG filled in, and then we started trading lower, breakout block. So this could trade lower while fiber is held in that range, then before they all start resuming bullishly. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. At the moment, it could do either way, it could go either way because we are just trading in the range. So until it goes, it trades either outside bullishly or downside, outside bearishly, then we're just stuck in the range. But of course, as a day trader, I would definitely have opportunity every single day to capture 30 to 50 pips, every single day, because day trading opportunities are always there. London session, you have opportunities to trade. New York session, you have opportunities to trade. But for swing trading and short-term trading, at the moment, it's not advisable for these major pairs because it's just consolidating, no clear directional movement at the moment. So that's our analysis for the 6th week. That's analysis for the 6th week. We've seen what happened the 5th week. We have anticipated what we feel is going to happen on the 6th week. So I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next weekend with another episode of our weekly market analysis. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant night rest.